can't click you.
Yeah, just so you're aware, Cypher, I'm gonna have to go AFK for a bit as well.
Alright.
I'm gonna sit down over at P1 and regen some health.
Mind Monk says AAs were a good addition. I remember them fondly, but I think it went too far. My favorite AA was the increased run speed. What about you, Mimo? Did you have a favorite AA out of all of them?
I really didn't get into them, to be honest. I think I had a lot of altitis as soon as that expansion came out.
Right. I think you could start earning AAs at a low level, though, right? I mean, my guy was already maxed out,
50.
so I'm not sure.
Yeah, 50 or 51, something like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do you have a favorite one, Shoot?
For my mage, yeah, the one that allowed me to basically pocket a pet.
Oh, yeah, the soul dimension or interdimensional?
Whatever, yeah. Honestly, can't remember what it's called, but I would summon an air pet, stack it with equipment, pocket them, and press on. It's awesome.
What about you, Cypher? Did you have one?
Mana Burn.
Oh, well, you know, that, that was a cheat. That was way too powerful.
Oh, it wasn't a cheat. It made you completely out of mana once you used it, so you were defenseless.
Sure, you know, but if you had like 6 other wizards with you, the mob was dead instantly.
Yeah, it's, you know.
I think, let's see, what do we got? Endless Quiver is one that somebody said.
Not a cheat, by the way. It's a clever use of game mechanics.
Yeah.
Yep.
Potato. Headshot was my favorite. That's Shix right there. Headshot. I don't think I ever used Headshot. Never played a rogue, though, or a ranger. Van says Paladin had two-handed slam. That would be interesting, because only the big races actually got that.
I thought that was part of their epic.
It was, but once you reach a certain level, once you got to Lugland, pretty much, even Canark, not Canark, I'm sorry, Velius, epic is kind of eh. Not many people used it.
Until they came out with the Epic 1.5 and then the 2.0, I think is the highest they got to, right? Or are they go into the 3s now?
2.5, I think it is. Now.
I liked what they did in Everquest 2 with the Epics. They converted it into a spell, a buff, that you could have on you at all times. Because it's going to be really difficult for you to keep up the presence of the Epic being a significant item without causing you to go back again and again like they're doing with EverQuest and do the 2.0, the 2.5, the 3.0. So if they just give it to you as a buff, you kind of still retain a little bit of that charm, but you don't have to keep, you know, messing with it, I guess.
Yeah, most people, they got their mythical and then they threw it in their visible slot instead of actually using it once that came out.
Right. Gumbo says the cleric skill to give someone DA such a nice skill. I don't remember that one. I don't know if that was on the first list of AAs that came out or not, but
I guess you didn't know groceries after all.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good because it's cold over there, right?
Yep.
Yeah, don't want to be out there too long.
You guys are almost blizzard-like conditions coming this week, aren't you? Later on?
They said chance of snow, but they didn't say anything about a big storm.
Okay, so I know in some parts up north there's supposed to be a nasty storm front coming through.
No, ironically enough, the northern part of the state, like, we don't seem to get as much snow as the southern part. That's just how it usually tends to be. I mean, it's not the way it is always, but it's what it seems to be usually.
Van says the Paladin's Holy Steed. I don't know what that one does. I do kind of miss the mounts at some point. Sometimes, you know, just all I ever had was the Lizard, and you know, you had to save up money to buy that one. But it's a really, really, really cool mount. It just was a behemoth. It didn't stop on a dime. So if you were on ice or going upstairs, I do remember quite a few zones that had stairs. You kind of had to take your mount off.
That thing tracked like a freaking tank.
Yeah, it's a giant lizard thing
it was
or something.
huge. The drums, yeah.
But I think, was it Cypher? Were you the one that telling me you went back not too long ago and they had like flying mounts now over there?
Oh no, I don't. I've never seen a flying mount on EQ.
Oh, okay. I think it must have been somebody else.
I think it was me. I thought I saw a flying mount. It had wings on it. That's for sure.
I know they introduced them into Everquest 2, and they probably did it at the same time with Everquest 1.
2, I had demon wings on the back of my necromancer.
I think they had horses at the same time as the regular mount that I had, the drums. Did you guys have anything fancy, or did you kind of skip over that, or not even use it at all?
You mean on EverQuest or EverQuest 2?
No, EverQuest, on live. Schick says they do. Mine is a burning horse with wings. So very heavy metal there. So Mimo, how you liking your wife's necro? You kind of getting back into it, or?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Kind of trying to figure out all the spells. Apparently she had died, right? So she didn't have a spell list when we first got here, so I'm trying to like figure out what spells I should have up. But I think I've got them all: Life Draw, Heat Blood, the Snare, and all that.
You got Dark Pact up. That's something I always forgot and didn't know what it did.
Yeah, I'm constantly trying to keep it up. It doesn't last very long.
No, it doesn't. It's like a 2 or 3 minute spell.
Yeah, so I'm constantly clicking that.
It's a nice one though, and then there's a item that you can use at level 30, I believe, or maybe it's level 20. Becomes clickable, and that gives you the upgraded version of Dark Pact. So that's kind of nice, and you don't have to have it on your spell bar. You can have like another dot or something else.
That's a quest item, right?
Uh-huh.
I'll have to look into that.
I think it was Chupa that got me that one. Right, Chup? I think he's still eating, I think. I'd have to ask him what the quest involved. I know he had to run over to Everfrost and kill stuff over there, and it's kind of long and drawn out, but he was able to do it in like 2 hours one night because he knows exactly where to go. And
I was farming root nets for a couple weeks on my monk. I should have grabbed one of those. Every time a necro would come by, I'd always like try and help him get it. So I guess I'll just have to do that again, but for this character.
Rabbit wants to know, are you a talk show host by day? Your ability to keep the conversation going is pretty impressive and keep everyone involved in it. No, I am just a jabbermouth that never stops talking. I'm actually really surprised that these guys, you know, put up with it and don't tell me to shut up and stop. But, you know, they keep hanging out with me, so I think they're a little crazy.
There's a red orc.
Yeah, I just... Every day I just want to put a bullet in my brain.
See, you know what I'm saying? Like, or mine, I don't know. Yeah, there was, you kind of want to stay away from the ones that are labeled A orc,
right,
rather than the un or in.
Yeah, the A orcs will wreck your face.
He was red to me. I was like, maybe I should pull him, and then like, no, why push it?
You would be red to me.
He's red to me at 15, so it's pretty scary.
I definitely should have pulled him. But no, I'm glad you guys are enjoying the videos and the fact that I never stop talking. But you know, this is a game that is so detailed that no matter how long you play it, I think there's still more to learn. And every time I learn something in this game, I seem to forget something else or 2 or 3 other things. Ah, there's vape. Nice.
I rely on long form videos like yours, AC, because like when I'm working, I mean I've found like a group of long form podcasts and things, and anytime I miss like an upload or I wasn't there, like I can listen to stuff while I'm working. Like I need it nowadays. Like I can't get through a day at work. Like if there's a day where it's just like nobody put out anything, I go crazy at work.
Right. I need
something to listen to.
I was kind of going through the same thing when I was gone. You know, I was able to throw the cell phone on and listen to Cypher go through some of his games, and I wasn't able to really watch him as much when I'm working, but just having that voice in the background to give you something to listen to is really, really nice. I know what you guys mean. But they didn't always put out stuff, so I'd get after them in the comment section and be like, "When's your next video coming out?" And have to call Cypher up and be like, you gotta put things out. I know Hydros Inc., which is Thum, for those of you guys who know. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it the way he does it with his intro, but he's doing a South Park series right now for the new South Park, The Fractured Butthole, and it's not spelled the way you think it probably is, but pretty good. I like the game so far. I actually got a chance to try it, so I'll be doing some videos on that at some point in the future. But yeah, he's just got Kenny, and he's doing some other stuff, so definitely go check it out, guys, if you're interested in that.
Yeah, I love Thum's videos. I'm really behind on all of his content. I need to catch up with it.
Yeah, hopefully we can get him back out here with us at some point. I know he's having issues with his internet, but that might get fixed, hopefully.
Do you want us to move up a little more? It feels like you're pulling the long ways.
No,
he told me he's leaving his job at like the end of February.
I did hear that last time we talked, so has he picked out where he's going to be going, or is he still kind of just thinking about it?
He didn't say anything beyond that.
Because I know he kind of wants to go back to the casino, or at least that's one of the ideas that he had. He liked that job, he likes the interaction between people. He's another person who's very social, and does some great videos. He can keep it going as long as he wants to. So I think a job like that, it probably suits him really well. Plus, he's inside of an air conditioning building, and it's kind of hard to pass that up versus being outside and sweating all day, which he's doing construction right now, so that's.
I think that sucks the most about his job is the hours.
With the construction or the casino?
Yeah, that's the construction, what he's doing right now.
Yeah, well, because they take the jobs when they can get it, and if they want him to work 20 hours a day for 2 weeks and then not have any work for, the following 3 weeks, they got to do what they got to do, and I definitely can understand that. Let's see. I'm not trying to watch silent streams or videos. There's been a few that I watch that do that. They don't really talk. They just kind of show themselves playing the game.
Well, honestly, when I stream, I put the game on and I put music in the background, and I don't record my voice chat. Like, it's really just there for posterity.
Still, I mean, as long as you got something to listen to, a little bit of music, and if you're watching it on your TV at the end of the night, you can kind of just chill and relax.
Oh yeah, no, I'm totally jamming if I'm streaming.
I've done it a few times. It's late at night, I can't sleep, because, for those of you who've watched my videos before, I don't really sleep all that much, except recently, exhausted to the point of falling asleep, but yeah, I'll put some music on and just kind of hang out in some, like, low B zone. I've done that over in high pass or high keep, and just, I'll talk every once in a while if somebody asks a question, but mainly it's just music. I got 2 incoming, maybe 3.
Exciting.
See, the reason I didn't want to move you guys up a little bit is because right over that hill, you can go take a look if you want.
I did. I went and I was like, okay, yeah, you're right. It's a bad idea.
There's a little tiny, I don't know what you'd call it, you know, meeting ground. And there's just tons of roamers. So I'm like, nah, this over here seems pretty good. And we can push it though, man. If you guys want, we can make a charge and take that little castle from them.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention. My pet's on the other guy.
How's things going over there with you, Cypher? Are you guys gotten your group together and you killing some stuff, or?
Oh, we died.
Oh, no way. What killed you?
A Cayman.
Was it just you and Vape, or?
No, it's me and Shariki.
Oh, Vape hasn't come over there to join you yet?
No. We decided we're getting on our 20s.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry you guys died.
It's alright.
Where are you guys gonna go on your 20s?
I don't know.
Could try Upper Guck. Upper Guck's Scryer room is pretty good if you're not too high. Maybe like 24, 25 would be good.
I'm 26. I don't know what level.
What's up?
What level is your bard?
20.
Where you wanna go?
It doesn't matter to me. I just have to go to the bank before I go anywhere because I can't move without sellers right now.
Alright.
You could try... No, Soleil would probably be too high for you, right?
No, Soleil's perfect for 20s, mid-20s.
Try Soleil then. That's a good spot. I just love the money that you get off of those bricks.
Well, so no, Soleil, it would be like the very, very entrance of Soleil.
Everything
that's like
drops it
high
there.
20s. I was thinking Upper Gut for some reason.
We can do either. I have my highest pet.
I do have a 30 warrior as well. If we wanted to do Soleil.
I have a 30 cleric.
I mean, I'm down.
I'm down for whatever.
Oh, wow. Okay. Everybody pay attention.
Rabbit says, I love that keyboard. Mesmerizing. Are you talking about my keyboard? Can you hear it? It is a mechanical keyboard. It's pretty loud. I probably need to get another one. If it is, let me know. Oh my god, I pulled an A Orc Warrior.
Yeah, you did.
Try to lose aggro.
I never even really had it.
Well, my weapon's not proccing.
I could take some hits.
Oh,
Now
no,
let me take the hits.
she's
I'm the
doing
tank.
Well, I know, but I'm just sitting in medding anyways, so like it doesn't matter if I get some health down.
I cannot get the aggro off you guys.
Wow, we're kicking the crap out of this thing. It's probably eating up all the cleric's mana, but...
We did it.
Yeah, we did. Nice, guys. Good work.
Yeah, she's long.
So where'd you guys decide to go, Cypher?
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, let's do Soleil. I'll get on my warrior.
Okay. I can summon you bandages for days.
That's good. I have none. I'm as terrible of a warrior as I am a monk.
You need to get one of those.
I have a clicky
sacrificial-
robe on my monk. I don't need bandages anymore.
You got a clicky robe on your monk. That's right.
I just clicky for 100 health.
If you
I
get
just
that
do it a
dagger
lot.
for your warrior, though.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
Oh, actually, you want to meet at the tunnel? I'm gonna get on flip sides. He has a rope for me.
Yes, give me a few, cause I'll have to get a port from Steamfront. Cause I'm pretty sure I'm in this more.
So who are you taking, Cypher?
Neptunum, Catricium.
Don't think I've seen that character. Is that one that you made while I was gone?
I don't know. He's my follower of Praxis. It's my only role-played character.
Oh, I do remember you making that character. What class is it? I think it's a mage, right?
Yeah, mage only uses water pets, have macros for, like, asking for things like that.
Now, do you find when you play that guy as a roleplay class, I mean, granted you're only in the 20s, maybe you haven't had a lot of grouping going on, but do you find that people are very receptive to that? Do you like that?
Yeah, actually, I've had people who've commented on my role-playing on him.
Because you did that with Cybertron. I love the voice that you had for that. I know it was something very difficult for you to keep up, you know, the kind of scratchiness, but it was good. For those of you who haven't heard it before, he has those on some of his videos. I don't want to put him on the spot and make him do it tonight, but it's pretty good.
Hello, everyone. This is Cybertron.
It kind of fits with his gnome in the sense that I don't know. You just kind of assume that's what they would sound like if they had voices. Now, live, they actually went back and they put voices into a lot of NPCs that didn't have them before. Do you guys feel that that is a good thing or a bad thing? Do you like the fact that you used to have to type out, or on live, or not on live, on P99 you still do, have to type out the quest information, you have to get the phrasing right, and sometimes you have to sit there and try to figure it out?
I like it. I mean, I did a video where I was doing a quest in Grob and had to figure out the voice that they were using, which was kind of interesting because they talk about magic as in MAJIK, magic power.
Oh, from the kittens?
No, from the trolls.
Oh, okay. And that's what the voice acting? That's what they were doing?
No, that's just if you read out the quest, that's how they talk.
Oh, okay. So you like the fact that they had text, not the fact that they have voice.
Yeah.
What about the rest of you guys? Remember, you a fan of the voice acting in some games, or the fact that you kind of had to spend a little bit more time? You couldn't just click the next button, continue button, and then hit like accept quest on this one.
Oh man, that's one thing I tried EQ2 a while back, and like it seemed like you could just breeze through everything way faster, and yeah, I kind of like I like how it is here. You can kind of skip a lot of the quest text, I guess, but if you
skip a lot of it, you won't know what to say.
Yeah, that's true. But if you really get into it, there's so much. It's kind of richer, I guess, because I think with that one, you kind of mass produce it a little bit more, I feel like. But with this, it's kind of feels like a writer really spent a lot of time and was able to do it more richly, I guess.
I think, you know,
more
because
storytelling-esque.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that one. I think because the people who made this game were more into the old style D&D, and anybody who's ever been a dungeon master or even played with a really, really good dungeon master knows that how much work they put into it, how much thought goes into every little detail, even if you don't actually see that, you know, during that playthrough.
Did you see the Big Bang Theory whenever Sheldon was getting excited because they were doing the voices of different actors?
He was pretty good, man. He got what's his name, Nicolas Cage down like packed.
Yeah, and I think he also did Christopher Walken, and yeah.
That's not necessarily sticking with like the whole roleplay aspect, but
no,
you know, it was funny to see, and definitely seeing Sheldon kind of giggle and get excited about it was, you know, like the guy's a good actor, you know, he draws you into it. So
yeah.
What about you, Shariki? Are you big into the voice acting, or do you like the more traditional, you know, let me read the text and almost be forced to slow it down rather than speed up?
I am from a lot of MUDs is where I got my online gaming started. I love reading text. I love text scroll. I love all things text.
I definitely know where you're coming from with the MUDs. I played my share of those, and there's something about using your own imagination that I don't think a lot of the newer generation really get to experience. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of them that read books and get to kind of...
Well, that was what was great about MUDs. It was, you were playing a game, but it was like reading a book.
Mm-hmm. And watching a movie in your own mind, because it's like a choose-your-own-adventure book that wasn't, you know, 15 pages long.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the problem with those things, is they were usually about 90 pages long, and most of those pages were you took a wrong turn and you died. Holy crap. We got a few orcs coming. I think somebody's pulling for us. Let's go ahead and snag one of these off of them. But what about you guys at home watching? Are you guys big into MUDs? Did you kind of start with that? What was your first experience with gaming? Was it arcades, you know, going back and playing like Pac-Man and, you know, Donkey Kong and, you know, one of those? Or did you kind of start up with like the Nintendo or the Sega or the PlayStation? I kind of missed the PlayStation. I didn't really get to play that one when it first came out. I've gone back since and given it a try, and it's a really good system. I kind of wish that I had known about it when it was there. And the same goes for all you guys, you know, on the call with me. Do you guys have like a story of your first experience with gaming that really kind of brought you into it and made you realize this is something I want to keep going with?
I was found into this game. I mean, that a friend, actually it wasn't a friend so much, it was my boss got me into the game.
I'm kind of there with you with the boss. It was a present to my brother, and that's what brought me into this game in particular. But definitely my older brother was the introduction into video games in general. What about you, Cypher or Mimo and Shariki? You guys have a story?
Mine, God, I remember getting my Atari. I remember my dad getting an Atari, really. And then an NES. They got me an NES for Christmas when that year it came out. And yeah, it's just been since then. I don't play nearly as much as I used to, or as much as I'd like to, because I've got more money than I've got time now. And the older I get, the more that is true.
Do you have a favorite game when you guys got that? Was it like Pong or on the Nintendo? Did you have something else?
No, the game that really sparked it for me was, it wasn't even an early one, it was Secret of Mana.
Oh, that's a good one, dude.
I played that one, and oh man, I fell in love with Earthbound when it came out. Like, I played so much Earthbound.
It was such a good game because it was nice and long, and everything about it was just good. You know, the writing, the humor. If you can integrate something that can actually make me laugh out loud while I'm playing a video game. Like, anytime they brought the Blues Brothers on stage and, like, the different towns you would go to, you're just like, oh my god, what's going on here? That's hilarious. And they always did it in a way that, even if you didn't know who the Blues Brothers were, you were still cracking up laughing, because it was just silly.
Alright, I've got an AFK, guys. I'll be right back.
Alright. So Vape says Everquest was his first experience. I can't say that's a bad first experience. It's kind of an addictive first experience, but That's man, that's some deep water to jump straight into. That's for sure. Let's see, 12-year-old in a D&D BattleTech group with some 20-year-olds on my block. Oh, we got an extra pool over here. Okay. Yeah, I think as D&D players, they were very accepting of anybody who wanted to play. You know, we did have the habit of being called nerds or geeks and things of that sort, but the one thing you could say about nerds and geeks is they never really made fun of other people. And if they did, it was, you know, in kind of a nice jest or something like that. But yeah, you could be yourself as weird or crazy or, you know, as clueless as you wanted to be, or even as popular as you wanted to be. I played in football and I played D&D, so it wasn't like, oh no, you're with the popular kids or you got a lot of friends, you can't play. You know, you can come from whatever background you wanted to come from and be accepted into those groups. And that's kind of cool that you're one of those people who were brought in with a lot of older players and got to see some of like those crazy shenanigans that you would get up to in D&D battles. Shix says Atari was my first system. Did you have a favorite game on Atari, Shix? Mind Monk says started playing King's Quest on the TRS-80. I'm not familiar with the TRS-80. King's Quest, on the other hand, was one of my favorite games. Nope, not that. Try something else. You hear again and again in that game. I think I stopped
King's
on...
Quest was amazing. I love that game.
I think they're still coming out with them, right? I mean, I stopped on like 8 or 9, but I think they're on like 15 or 20 now.
I played a lot of 5, I think it was, when I was really young. Yeah, that game, I mean, it was just like... It was really engrossing, and like you look back at it and it was so simple, but like it was really, really engrossing.
It's a click and point kind of game, almost like Day of the Tentacle or Maniac Mansion, for those of you who aren't quite aware of what kind of game it is. But you're right, it was something that you could combine items together, which is kind of a unique item or unique idea that they had in that game. And the storyline just kept pulling you back into it. It was good humor on that one too. Rabbit says, then I forgot the name of the game, but it was AOL, an online RPG at my parents' friend's house. We stayed for like a weekend, and I slept in the office, racked up a $300 phone bill for them that weekend. Holy crap. Yeah, that would be a bad experience. Awesome. I mean, it's a great experience, but kind of a bad one at the same time. Because I'm sure they were not happy about that. Do you lift much? A little bit. I mean, I'm kind of a big guy, not muscular, so. Shik says probably Pitfall. That's Chupa's favorite game, by the way, too. He loves that one as a platformer. If he was here, he'd be calling me out on that one, actually.
Oh man, Pitfall?
It's a tough one, man. That's
like broken.
Very aptly named, though. Not quite as broken as E.T., though.
Sorry for anybody whose first experience are like the shitty NES games.
Sometimes those games that people don't like, sometimes the ones that are the hardest are the ones that are the most memorable, because it like pushes you to be better. It makes you want to see if you can beat that next part. And you kind of miss that with some of the newer games.
Well, the thing is if it's a shitty game, then it really just comes down to how lucky you are.
I don't know. There's some people out there really skilled. It was so much fun. Never was able to find a paper and pen group nearly as much fun as them. Yeah, you know, when you find the right group of people that you kind of click with, you can really have some good times to it. Lots of humor in those games. My bunk. Oh yeah, for King's Quest. Anybody else have a kind of forgotten game? Something that maybe not was your first one, but something that you really enjoyed that most people probably haven't heard about? There's nobody there. For me, it was Simon the Sorcerer, back on the 8-bit computer system. When you first start that game, they make a joke which you know, you kind of had in every game that you ever played. You could pick up anything, including the kitchen sink, and put it in your pocket and take it with you. Some items were used, some items weren't, and it kind of got a little ridiculous when you looked at your inventory. You were walking around with like 800 items. So they make the joke on that one. At the very beginning, he opens his pocket and he sticks a ladder into it. And he looks at the screen and he's like, "Don't judge me," or something. He's like, you know, it's magic. Basically trying to let you know that you're going to be carrying a lot of stuff, but, you know, here's a little bit of humor with it. And that game just made me crack up laughing the whole time I played it.
I remember I was pretty young back around then, and I remember there was a bunch of Laserdisc games that came out that were like really weird, like live action, like you're watching
a movie,
a live video, yeah, and then the part of the game plays. There were quite a few of those.
Are you referring to the one where you play a blonde-haired swordsman or, you know, knight, and you have to jump through the little mazes or something? I think that was the most popular Laserdisc game I ever saw.
I don't remember. I remember there was one I would play a lot when I was really young. It's like Mad Dog McCree was the one I had. And it was like a Western, and like, it's like you were watching this Western film, but then like you'd occasionally have to shoot stuff and stuff like that. I really enjoyed those when I was a kid.
You know, I really think that's the way movies should be. They should be interactive in some way, and they've talked about doing that with VR. You know, the one that comes to mind for me would be like James Bond. It's a movie that, you know, comes on like marathons all year round. Usually around Thanksgiving, you'll find those things on 24 hours a day. But I can only imagine watching a movie that you really love, something that just kind of captures your attention, and being able to walk around the corner of the wall, you know, and just see like where the bad guy's coming from before the good guy even sees him, you know. And they've done that.
That'll be a pretty mind-blowing experience, I think.
They
could do it right.
They've done a little bit of it, so if you're kind of interested, you might check it out with the School of Rock. They did like a TV show for it, and they put it over on YouTube. And it's a 360-degree experience in VR, and you could sit anywhere in the classroom you want. So you can watch the kids come in, and you can sit behind the desk where the teacher is and watch the experience from that view. You can, like I said, walk outside the class and kind of like peer through the window and look at it from that view. It's weird because you don't have a director telling you where you should be looking and from what angle. So I think horror movies will have a harder time with jump scares because, you know, you could be looking anywhere you want. You can see it coming from a mile away. Dragon's Lair. There you go. Thank you, Rabbit. That's the one I was thinking of. That was a very, very popular game on Laserdisc. You guys have a favorite movie that you would love to see turn into something like that? If that, you know, experience even appeals to you guys. No? No? Because I know somebody mentioned Starship Troopers earlier. That
would be pretty crazy. I feel like we experienced that, though.
Yeah, we kind of did a little bit earlier. What were you going to say, Tara?
I asked what the question was.
If they could incorporate VR into a movie that you really like, what would be the movie?
I don't know.
Sound of Music.
That is my answer.
If you're big into musicals or something.
Lord of the Rings would be pretty amazing.
Oh my god, yeah.
I like their attempts at making games when the movies were coming out. Those were pretty fun when they came out, but yeah, something new and really like rich and really immersive would be pretty cool, yeah.
Can you imagine, though, a Lord of the Rings type movie that incorporates game aspects into it? That would be the ultimate MMO out there for VR, I think.
There'll probably be something like that, because they're going to have to use like a big property, a big IP to kind of get people pulled into it, I think, you know?
Well, they're already trying. I mean, not Mass Effect. It is Fallout. Fallout 4 is has already been converted over into VR. They have Skyrim coming out for VR. Pretty much any Bethesda product that's ever come out is being converted over into VR. So I'm hoping somebody else takes the reins and starts doing it too, like a Halo. It's going to be a different experience for first-person shooters, that's for sure, but it's still kind of pricey, though, I think is the problem. Starship Troopers, I want a Wheel of Time movie or MMO. Wheel of Time, I don't think I've seen that one. Have you guys seen it?
No, I don't think so.
Let me look that up. Wheel of Time. Wheel of Time is a series of high fantasy novels written by American author James Oliver Rigney Jr. under his pen name of Robert Jordan.
I feel like Thune brought that up once. I feel like he was in them.
He probably
said they were really
was.
good.
It looks like a lot of books. It doesn't say anything about oh, it does. Wheel of Time TV series lands at Sony. 2017 long-gestured Wheel of Time TV series adapted to movie. There are 14 novels in total, beginning with The Eye of the World in 1990. I don't know. It sounds like it could be interesting. A series like Game of Thrones. Oh man, that there'd be so many choices, right? Because those people like betray each other, become allies, and then you know, do all this nasty stuff to one another. And if they gave you the ability to do all that, or at least go anywhere you would want to, can you imagine how many stories could be going on at the exact same time, depending on where you're at in the castle?
I feel like that's going to be a weird one. Like when VR gets so immersive that you really feel like it's virtual reality, like you really feel like it's, sometimes you lose yourself, like you really feel like, oh man, like I think we're teasing that right now, like when you have a VR roller coaster and like you feel like you're weightless or something like that. But then like if you have a game where they're going to be starting to do crazy stuff like they do in Game of Thrones, like, I don't know, popping some guy's head or something, you know, like
Right.
You're going to be doing it, you're going to be like, this feels wrong at some point. At some point it's going to be a little too real.
Well, you know, there's people who like to do
it's
violent stuff.
It's easy to run around and shoot people in games and stuff and like kill people in a game, but then like when it feels like it's real and you're actually doing it, I don't know. I think that's going to be a really weird moment when it gets to that point.
I think so too, because with the controllers that they have right now, you know, they vibrate. That's pretty much all you got. But I see what you're saying, that if they could create something that where it feels like you're cutting through bone versus skin versus muscle,
right?
That would be a little bit too real, maybe. And
or
I think
even just like someone's looking you in the eyes as you're killing them, and like you're like right in front of them, and you're like, I'm killing you now. I'm cutting into you now, and it's like they're suffering in front of you, and it's like, this is getting weird.
I think
running around and doing like in Grand Theft Auto, people run around and do like a shooting or something, right? And it's like, oh, we're just but like when you see like a lady like, oh, my leg, like my children, like she's in front of you, like looking you in the eyes, it's gonna be like, this is getting weird.
I think you're right. I think there's gonna be lines.
The comment about Game of Thrones is like that finally made me think about it. I'm like, yeah, there's some, if you were really in the Game of Thrones VR game, like, and you were really in there, like if they really, because I think they're gonna make it's gonna only get more and more immersive as the years go on, and because obviously we're just starting out, but I think it'll eventually get to this weird place where like it's gonna get uncomfortable.
Well, you know, I think what it's gonna be is, instead of choosing, do I go down the good or the bad path, the evil or, you know, the light side, it's gonna be your own personality. Your character is gonna take on who you are, because there are people out there, as sick as it may sound, that like doing that kind of thing. You know, you see them commit like crazy crimes on TV. So they're gonna go down that route, and maybe they don't commit any crimes in real life. Maybe they just like that for some reason. And then you can have the other side, which is like, I like being a medic. I like helping people. I like seeing their expression when I ease their pain. Where versus, some people don't like blood. So, yeah, it's really gonna take on your personification of who you are in real life in some ways, and it's gonna stretch your ability to roleplay in places or in ways that you've never tried before.
I think the weird thing is that if you took someone like from 50 years ago and sat them down in front of Grand Theft Auto or something like that, and you just gave them that experience, it would terrify them. I think there's a really funny thing that they always show when they talk about VR sometimes of like the original motion pictures. Like there was a theater like way back then where there was a train coming right at the screen and everyone freaked out because the train was coming at the screen, and it was like it was just a new experience. And I wonder, like, if we get to experience this really immersive virtual reality, we'll be shocked at first, but then what happens when you get used to it and like you get desensitized? Because I can kill someone, I could shoot someone in a shooter game and not feel anything, not even have any like emotional ramifications to it. How does it get when you get kind of desensitized like that, or young people playing the game when they're doing it in this really immersive VR, and then they are killing people at that level? But they're not messed up by it. Because I don't think I'm messed up by it when I shoot someone in a game, right?
Yeah, but do you get desensitized to it? Because like when I'm playing this game and the mobs come in here and they start whooping our butts, like I still get scared. I still get that sense of adrenaline of like, oh, I gotta take these guys out. And the same thing when I see a really well written video game and I see somebody in need of help, somebody suffering, and you're like, oh, you're playing the hero, right? You get to come to their rescue. You get that sense of satisfaction because you are playing the hero. I think
I guess like if you're playing a driving game like GTA and you run someone over, it's like, or you I don't know, anything. You just are kind of desensitized. I mean, it doesn't mean anything because you feel that it's an NPC. But like, when you're going to be playing these VR games, you know it's going to be an NPC. It's going to be the computer. But it'll feel so real. It'll look so real. It'll trick your brain more. Yeah, I'm not sure how much you will eventually get used to that, or if you'll never get used to that. That's going to be interesting, I think, when it gets to that.
Yeah, there's that debate going on right now, with people, parents, and all sorts of things believing that games can bring out violence in people. I've been playing games since I was a kid, and I've never really hurt anybody. I mean, I've been in a few fights here and there, but nothing like. I don't seek them. I don't enjoy them. So it's not like I'm, playing Grand Theft Auto and then going out and doing the exact same thing I see on TV. The same thing said was for movies. Movies went through the same transition where people were blaming movies for all sorts of violence. Comic books had their heyday where comic books were being blamed for all, juveniles and, in detention. So, I don't know. I think people have to take responsibility for themselves in some way. And I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. I definitely accept the fact that most of the time I am. So we'll just have to see where it goes on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that video games are totally fine. Like, you can do violent things in video games. It's not going to make you violent. I think for the most part, for most people. But then I'm like, I feel like I want to defend video games, But then I'm seriously wondering, because you can see like a soldier that goes to war and they really see really grisly things. It really does give them PTSD.
Yeah, but I think there's a difference between that.
I don't think so.
When it becomes,
I don't think so at all.
What's that?
When it becomes so real, though. That's what I think.
No, my dad served in war. He saw horrible things. He suffered from PTSD. He played video games as an escape. Never triggered him.
I'm saying a difference between now video games and what VR could become.
But I think the reason, like somebody just said, drone pilots can get PTSD. I think the difference between a VR is that in the back of your mind, you know everything you see is not real. It's not happening to anybody in real life. Versus the weight of your decisions, the weight of your actions in real life, knowing that even the image you're seeing being a black and white blurry image, those are real people. That, I think, is why they develop PTSD versus VR not really having that effect. In fact, from what Tara was saying, kind of can have the exact opposite effect. It can maybe help some people.
Well,
that's what I'm wondering.
As real as it looks, it's not real. I mean, it can go through your mind. This isn't real. You know.
Those are the questions I'm wondering. Will it feel so real that it could have effects on you, or will you get desensitized because you're like, this is an NPC, and then you'll be able to do really uncomfortable, crazy things in video games to a degree that we kind of do now, but even more so when it becomes VR. And that's what I mean by the desensitization. Like, you'll be able to just go and cut someone's head off, like, and you'll see their hair, and like you'll pull their head off, and like you'll drop it and be like, that was nobody, and you'll just walk on. Like, is that?
You already kind of can in certain games. Like, there are some pretty ultra-violent games out there.
Yeah. Now I look at it as acting though.
You can do you can do those things, and it's like, I just don't see how somebody can, like, it's just a game, you know? You know, that's really the central argument, is that it's just a game, and people know that it's just a game. You know, doing it in a game doesn't mean that you're going to go out and do it, like, in real life.
Well, and actors go through this exact same thing, too. Like, they are put into a role where one movie, they're the good guy, right? They're the comic relief, they're, you know, and the next movie, they're in an action movie. The next one could be a horror movie, and they take on the role of a psychopath killer, and they play him so good that as an audience goer, you forget. At least, you know, you try to hope that they're so good that you could forget that you're watching a movie for a minute and just kind of get immersed into the story that they're trying to portray for you. I don't see those guys going out and committing crimes just because they're portraying a character. You know, with movies being the same thing.
And likewise, I don't really see games ever really causing anybody trauma.
I guess it could,
but because no, I really don't think so. Because real life is still so different from games.
I think so.
It doesn't even really matter how realistic you make a game. You still know it's just a game.
And until you start getting into...
The thing is, I haven't tried VR yet, so I don't know to what degree it will be like that. And also, I don't know what it'll be like 5 years from now. That's why I'm just speculating, like, you know, I mean, what really will it do to you?
Maybe the holodeck. Like,
we don't know yet.
If we had the holodeck and I could feel the characters that I'm touching and have them malfunction on me like they always do in Star Trek, so that I could actually die in there, then yeah, probably I could probably develop some kind of psychosis from the horrible alien zombie horde, whatever program you're running, that they seem to get themselves into. But it's not to that point even remotely. Like, it's good. Don't get me wrong. VR is absolutely amazing. And there's a couple of games where I've played it, and I've actually got motion sickness from it. So it does affect you a little bit, but, you know, even in the back of your mind, you still know it's a video game. The characters, you know, they're just imaginary.
Well, that's more of a sensory thing, too. Because of the way your eyes work.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying that I don't think it's there yet. And even when it does get there, I don't think we'll ever know until we do it. Until people actually start playing it and finding out these answers.
I don't know. At this point in time, like, I kind of think VR is just a fad.
What's the VR?
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. It could turn out that way. For those that have tried it,
sometime in the future it could become something, but I don't know. I just kind of feel like it's not really there yet.
I feel like our PCs aren't powerful enough yet.
You have Resident Evil 7 that was tailor-made for, you know, Sony's new VR set. I mean, that was the whole reason it was made, especially the way that it was. You know, Sony was like touting their new VR system, and now they're like not interested in it at all.
I think if you multiplied the current specs for a VR computer, like the recommended things, if you multiplied that by like 5 or 10 and then built the world on those capabilities, then you might have something. But right now I feel like our PCs are still so underpowered for what we want VR to do.
I don't think so.
Not only that, but VR is insanely expensive. Like, only certain people can afford that at this point in time.
Because we have the technology.
Only popular YouTubers can really get that stuff for free.
We have the technology to really replicate, you know, simulated things like water. They're really good at these things, but it takes very powerful computing to really do it. I think to really make it feel like you're replicating what's around you, you know, reality. So I think we're almost there, but when we get there, what is what I'm saying, I think it's going to be weird.
Now, I mean, I've already played games that have replicated it really, really well. In fact, I don't even think it comes down to computer processing. I think it comes down to experience as a programmer. When VR first came out for the Vive and for Oculus, we had these games, or I call them proof of concept programs that people were making. And one of the tricks of the trade that they eventually found out pretty quickly is that having a high-res picture up close, yeah, it looks amazing, and that's exactly what you want. But the naked eye cannot see a certain degree of resolution further away. So one of the tricks that they would do is they would make the images that were further away from you, where you're actually standing, lower res while you're looking at them. And as you move closer to them, they become higher res. And that allows less processing power, it allows less CPU and everything else that you need to run the game, and the human eye doesn't see any difference. So I think it's little tricks like that that programmers do behind the scenes that most gamers will never even realize they're doing will allow these games to really get detailed in graphics. The only other thing that I see them working on in the proof of concept is the movement. You know, right now, unless you have a giant, you know, stadium or basketball court, you know, you can't just walk around indefinitely. You're going to run into stuff in your house. You know, your living room is only so big, and you can only push your couch so far against the wall. For me, I'm making a game room almost specifically designed so I can play the VR, so there's a lot of empty space to allow me to walk around. The other method to moving is zapping, pointing at a spot on the ground that you want to move to and then clicking the little button. It's kind of jarring, and it does pull you out of the immersion of the game. So some of these companies have started to try to create some little devices that they can let you sit in, little straps, and you can hook up to a harness. And some of them had treadmills on the ground that go in any direction. Some of them have a very, very smooth surface, and you wear special shoes or a special harness onto your shoes that have wheels on them. All of them have their downsides. None of them really work very well, and a harness isn't really a great thing to have. It's kind of a chore to get in, it's a chore to get out of. It's not something you can just put on and off whenever you feel like playing it. So there's still a few hurdles for them to overcome, but they've overcome a lot already. The games when they first came out, or the systems when they first came out, all had wires strapped to them. You had to strap it to the computer. Now they figured out the latency issues with that, so now you can have a wireless headset, and you can actually connect a battery to it. And the batteries last for about 6 to 8 hours before they need to be recharged, and you can pop them off and pop them back on fairly quickly. So, you know, the downtime, the ease of use has gone up. They've made some improvements to the eyewear so that if you wear contacts or you wear glasses, it's a little bit easier there. But I think, yeah, it's still in development. It still needs some of these fine-tuning tweaks, but as far as the graphics and the gameplay go, I think it's just going to come down to programmers actually making a game that, one, takes advantage of all the things that VR can do, and two, knowing what those things are. Because you said Resident Evil came out and the game really wasn't all that great. VR is still so new that I think even the programmers are just like, I don't know what to do with this yet. I don't know how to tell an in-depth story with this version of entertainment. And I hope it takes off, because I've played it and I love it, but I may be one of the few people out there. I may be in the minority, so. Hey guys, and welcome to the disembodied voice of AC Gamer. We are definitely going to be doing a lot more series in the future, but here are a few of them that you guys might find interesting. Of course, you're more than welcome to check them out. I would love to hear your comments. Again, if you do enjoy these videos, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe. It's definitely the indicator that I use to tell if you guys want to see more videos like that, of that particular game style, of that series, in the long run. So when you guys leave comments down, it helps me decide whether we should keep doing it, as well as whether you want to see games like that in the future. And here are a few of them right here. I kind of picked out a few of different genres. We will be doing spotlights for other YouTubers in the future. So if you want to get a little shout out, definitely let me know. If you group with me, chances are you will get a shout out in here eventually. But for now, these are just 4 series that I have that I feel like could use a little bit more attention and that you guys might actually enjoy as well. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we will definitely catch you all next time.